Chapter 2 talks about the different costs that we have. And we have these different costs right here. So I'm going to go through them for just 1 second so that we get a clear understanding about what these costs are. Direct materials are called touch costs. And when I mean touch, I mean we can touch them. So direct materials are things such as wood that goes into furniture, or the staples that go into, connecting the fabric to the bottom of the furniture. It could be the screws that are holding the refrigerator doors on. It could be the glass that we use to make windows. So direct materials are touch materials. They're usually large enough that we can trace them directly to the product. Okay, so that's direct materials. Direct labor is, again, touch labor. So these are individuals who actually work with their hands and touch the products that are being made. So it's not a supervisor who never touches the product. It's the people working on the line who are actually building, the Honda Accord or the Ford Focus, right? So direct labor is touch labor. These people are touching the product. Then we have manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead is a few things. It's the supervisor's salary. We need the supervisor to make the products, but they're not part of the direct materials or direct labor because they don't touch the products. Manufacturing overhead is all the costs that we incur in order to make a product. We can't get rid of these costs. Those costs exist because we make the product, but they're not direct materials and they're not direct labor. All three of these are called product costs because they go into the cost of making the product. Then we have period costs. Period costs happen in the period, in the month, but they have nothing to do with production, nothing to do with a factory, nothing to do with making a product. So selling expenses are the salespeople. Well, they don't have anything to do with making the products. And administrative expenses, it's like the human resource department. It's like the president of the company. It's like the marketing department. It's like the accounting department. It's like, anything that is part of helping the company to run, but it has nothing to do with making the product. So it's really important to be able to categorize these things and to determine what the total is. Total product costs, total period costs. All right, so let's go through these. This is direct materials. So that's pretty straightforward. When it says direct materials, we can just put it in direct materials. Then we've got the factory rent, manufacturing overhead, because if we didn't have the factory, we couldn't produce the product. So it's part of the manufacturing overhead, but it has nothing to do with us touching the product. Okay, direct labor, pretty straightforward. We're just going to put it in direct labor. Then we've got the factory utilities, manufacturing overhead, supervisor in the factory, manufacturing overhead. Indirect labor in the factory goes into manufacturing overhead. Indirect labor, we cannot directly trace to the product. And an indirect labor, by the way, is, let's say, we've got a person who just comes in and he takes over the conveyor belt when somebody goes on their 15-minute break. So because we can't directly trace it to the product, but definitely we need those people in order to produce the product. So it's part of manufacturing overhead. Depreciation on factory equipment, manufacturing overhead. Absolutely. Sales commission, selling expense. Sales salaries. Okay, is it admin or is it selling expenses? This is selling expenses. If it has anything to do with sales, put it always into selling expenses. Advertising. It's never manufacturing overhead because it has nothing to do with production. Remember, if it has nothing to do with production, it's definitely a period cost. This is a selling expense. Advertising is all about making our sales, so it's considered a selling expense. Depreciation on the headquarters building. So this is head office. Manufacturing overhead or admin. So does the depreciation on the head office have anything to do with production? And the answer is no. So it can't be manufacturing overhead. It is definitely administrative expenses. Salary of the corporate receptionist, admin. Other administrative costs, well, we know right away because it says the word admin in it, so it makes it easy. And salary of the factory receptionist. It's manufacturing overhead. So why manufacturing overhead? Because is this person touching the product? Yes or no? No, this person is not touching the product. Remember, I said people who are touching the product are the individuals who work on the assembly line. So this person is not touching the product at all. However, do we need that person in the factory in order to allow the factory to run appropriately? And the answer is yes. So that's why it's in manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead is all the costs that are not directly related to the product. They're not touch costs. But if we didn't have these costs, we wouldn't be able to produce the product at all. Like if we didn't have a factory, then we wouldn't be able to produce the product. If we didn't have the depreciation on the machinery because we didn't have the machinery, we wouldn't be able to produce the product. So all of these things are considered manufacturing overhead because we need it to produce the product, but it's not directly touching the product. It's not directly traceable to the product. Like when you think about a factory running, there is so many parts behind the scenes that we need in order to run the factory. Those are all manufacturing overhead. And then if it has nothing to do with production at all, that's when it goes into the period costs. Keep in mind that if you get this wrong, you're going to get all your numbers in the question wrong. So doing this categorizing cannot even tell you how important it is. Because if you get this wrong, every number will be wrong. Okay? So now, what is the total product cost for last year? Well, we already know what the total product costs because total product costs are direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. So if we take all of those costs and we add them up, let's do the auto sum. This is the total cost of the products, right? So keep in mind when we're thinking about a manufacturing environment, and we do a lot of manufacturing environments, a lot, we need to remember that it's DM, DL, and MOH. Those are the costs that go into making a product. What is the total period cost? Well, we know the total period costs are the selling expense and the admin expense. I'm going to use short forms. So period costs, perfect. Now, if 30,000 units were produced last year, what is the unit product cost? Well, we're going to take the total cost and we're going to divide it by the number of units. And that will tell us what each unit is actually costing us. So each unit is costing us $21.98. Have I got this right? I just want to double check that I've got everything right. Oh, wait, I took the wrong number. Don't do that when you're doing an exam. That is really awful because I would have gotten all my numbers wrong just because I put the wrong reference. I referenced the wrong cell. So I apologize about that. All right, so now we've got this. So that increased that increased that. So we can calculate very easily by dividing it by the number of products what the per unit cost is. Why are certain costs contained in the cost of the product and others are not? Well, we already know the answer to this because these costs don't have anything to do with producing the product. So product costs are everything that is incurred in order to produce a product, right? So I'm just going to write that down. Only costs that are incurred in order to produce a product are included in product costs. Everything else is other. So like I said, you don't recognize these costs, that's going to cause a lot of problems. Well, if I had written this as an exam, because I made this one mistake here, this would have been wrong. This would have been wrong, right? So I would have ended up with both of those marked incorrect.